Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I am your girl Sarah right here on the Sunrise, and I have a very special guest with me on my show today because I have Hiba who will be co hosting the show with me. Hi Hiba, how are you? I hope you are having an amazing time. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Hiba. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to be hosting with you, Sarah. You seem amazing. Hi everyone. I'm Hiba. I'm 21 years old and I live in the lovely, rainy UK. And I can't wait to be here, really.
Yeah, so that's what we are all here for, to host a beautiful, beautiful show, to make sure we have a lot of positivity to spread to our listeners and a lot of positive news to share with our listeners, because obviously no one wants to start the day with a lot of negative news, right? And obviously, with everything that is currently happening, especially with the pandemic and all of these other multiple things that stress all of us out, positivity is what we all want, right, Hiba?
Absolutely right. I feel like there's a lot of positivity lacking, especially with the dour weather. I mean, it is supposed to be like 30 degrees and it's really out here raining every day.
Yeah, I guess it is what it is, right? The weather,
Unfortunately
after
so.
all. And, here in the UK, we're all known for our rain, for the rain that we have, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard so many people talk about, whenever I hear someone talk about the United Kingdom, it's always like, oh, it's so rainy there, it's so gloomy there. Like, yes, I'm aware, I live there. Yes, of course, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It just, the rain is amazing. It's like, I think some people just love the ambiance. I love reading when it's raining. Honestly, I just wouldn't change a thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have a very love-hate relationship with the rain, because like sometimes I love gloomy days, I love the rain, but also
Yeah.
sometimes, when you have to go out and it's raining, you're like, why are you raining? Like, please stop. I really need to head out. Stop raining, you
Honestly,
know?
I know exactly what you mean. It's just like I've spent a long time on my hair and I need the sun. The rain was lovely for a time, but now I think I just need to feel the sun.
Yeah, so that's just us with the weather for you. But we're going to be talking about a lot of interesting topics as well, because we're going to be talking about what role the booster COVID jabs will actually play. Once that Because there is a lot of discussion that it is going to be rolled out in September, right? So before we actually head into that conversation, I want to very quickly remind you that you can get in touch with us. All you need to do is just call us or text us on 078 52473473. You can even see the number below. So if you're wondering which way to get in touch with us, to share your thoughts, to share your opinions, well, the number is always there. All right. And there's also a few social media apps that you can follow us on. So obviously you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can also, download our app, which is available on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. That way you can actually make sure that you're always a part of the conversation. You're always listening to us live, and you're always sharing your thoughts and opinions with us. Okay. So don't forget to do that. But right now, Hiba and I will actually, start this conversation and have this discussion about what role the booster COVID jabs are going to play. All right. So, Hiba, what are your thoughts on vaccination?
Honestly, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I completely am against the vaccine because I'm absolutely not. I am completely for the vaccine, and I want more people to become more educated about the vaccine because there is currently so much misinformation being shared, especially because a lot of people have very compromised immune systems, and we need to, like, instead of people saying, oh yeah, there's a chip, the government's going to mind control you, no, we need to say, hey, like, this is a necessary thing that we must do. We have to protect the people around us, people with compromised immune systems, older people who are really affected by COVID and cannot or do not have the resources to, be pinged by the NHS app and, stay off from work, because it does create a lot of issues. And I want there to be more education and more compassion surrounding the whole topic of the vaccine.
Yeah, and that's really really true. I agree to you as well because here in the United Kingdom, even though we've had one of the most successful vaccination drives
Yeah,
here, there is still a significant amount of the younger population that has that has a lot of COVID hesitancy, right? And I've encountered this as well. And obviously, just like you, I am also for vaccinations. I want people to get a lot of people to get vaccinated as much as possible because that way we can actually all play our part in this fight against the coronavirus, right? Because
yeah,
obviously something that we are all going through right now is we're trying to get life back to normal, back to how it used to be before the whole pandemic began and all of that. And we
yeah.
can't move forward if no one wants to get vaccinated, right?
You're absolutely right.
Especially, we will be going back to square one, right? And so going back to this vaccine hesitancy that is there among younger people, I've seen a lot of young people just come up and say, hey, you know what, like, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I don't need the vaccine. Well, guess what? I am young, fit, and healthy too, but I think the vaccine will definitely help me because, I mean, either way, we're not immune to the virus, right? The only
Yeah.
way we'll get some sort of protection, some sort of immunity, is through the vaccine, right?
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. I feel like that is a recurring dialogue. Like, I'm young, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I don't need the vaccine. That is completely, like, not true, like completely misrepresented, because like you need it, so you like, because it has more of an effect on you and the people surrounding you than you actually realize.
Exactly. And if you
Yeah,
don't get vaccinated, because you think you're fit and healthy, you might actually put other people around you at risk, right?
exactly.
Which is something that a lot of people fail to understand as well. So, Hiba and I are having an amazing discussion right now. So, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to head into a small break. And after that, we will be back to keep talking about this. But until then, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to head into a small break.
The
See you later,
valuations that
guys.
you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday. And what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for? Why am I doing it? When will I need the money? And how much money do I need? Yeah. So that's quite important, because when you're looking at your net worth, you've got to start with saying, well, what do I want my net worth to be, so that there's a goal, and then work backwards. How do I get there? And if I can start with £50 or $50 a week, if I save that every week, and you can go online and use calculators online. I don't have to teach you the maths behind it, but you can say, okay, and if I get a 3% return and I put this away for how long will it take to reach my goal? And that's called just this basic cash flow projection calculations. And it's what we use in financial planning all the time. What we say to clients is we say, okay, what is your goal? What is your objective? Where do you want to go to? And we discuss that in a lot of detail and over most of the meeting. And then the rest of it is saying, okay, in your exact circumstances, with your risk profile, with how you feel about investments and pensions and taxes and where you are and who you work with, and your education level or your lack of education or how involved you want to be. There's a lot of variables that we take into account. And then we say, okay, here's a plan. You start like this, that's great. And then we review it all the time. And we say, okay, we need to increase it, we're on track, we're not, this is what is happening. Because remember, when you're dealing with assets, the valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's a struggle. Yeah. So there are strategies everywhere from £50 a week up to £100 million, and they're different. Right? They range differently from everyone, but and from country to country, to be fair. Different countries have different tax laws, so different vehicles. But from your point of view, at the sort of normal end, I'm not going to call it the low end because I'm in that boat as well. it's as tax efficient as you can get it. That's where you start. You
Right.
use all the tax efficiencies, and then you step up into different things.
The Kaleidoscope.
Welcome back to the show. It's your girl, Sarah, and we have Hiba here as well. We are co hosting the show right now, this final up, because we want to make sure that you have an absolutely amazing conversation. You have the best conversation, and you are aware and informed about everything that happens, not just here in the United Kingdom, but in fact, all over the entire world. All right. That's what Hiba and I are here for. So if you have any thoughts, if you have any opinions, any questions, any doubts that you want to clarify, anything at all, you can call or text us on our number, which is Hiba.
078
Yeah.
07852 473 473.
Exactly. So it's really that easy. Make sure you get in touch with us. Make sure you share your thoughts with us, because we would love to hear what you have to say as well, right? And that's the whole point of this conversation, to get all of you listening, to make sure that you share your thoughts with us as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So before we head into the conversation, I want to very quickly remind you that you can follow us on our socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and download our app, which is available on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. That way, you can make sure you're informed and always a part of this conversation, because we want to know what you're thinking, and we would love to hear what you are thinking. All right. So let's get back into our conversation about the booster COVID jabs and why exactly they're important. Right now, a booster vaccine program is actually set to begin next month with about 32 million Brits, if I'm not mistaken. For they basically want to make sure that these Brits actually get a booster jab, right? And why do you think that is?
Me.
Yeah.
I think because, well, for a lot of reasons, really. We have over 50s who are more susceptible to the vaccine, as we saw last summer. You also have people with autoimmune deficiencies and also weakened and compromised immune systems that need the extra support. I think it's an amazing scheme that's really going to work out. Hopefully, it'll work out in our favor. However, you do hear a lot of things about sort of. I think my main concern is because the Astra vaccine was also given to over 50s. We need to focus on why that isn't as effective as the Pfizer and the Moderna.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's a fair that's a fair perspective to have as well, right? A lot of this actually depends on how many people are a lot of this depends on how your immune system is, right? And that's why you also said a lot of these booster jabs are for people who have a lot of these pre-existing conditions that actually weaken their immune system, right?
Yeah.
And I think in terms of the difference between the AstraZeneca vaccine and the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine rather, is actually because the AstraZeneca vaccine actually directly works with your antibodies, right? Where they basically, where they basically inject a certain part of the virus, and so then all the antibodies in your body know that this is what they have to fight against. So they basically build up immunity in terms of your antibodies. Whereas with Moderna or Pfizer, I think it works completely different, because what they do is they actually send a signal and they say, look, if you see something of this sort, you don't attack it immediately, right? It works with the T cells. So that's basically the whole difference that is there. So if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, make sure to ask it from both Hiba and I, right? Because we're here to answer your questions. We're here to have this conversation with you and make sure that you know about whatever it is that we are talking about. All right, so that is just what it is on the booster jabs and whatnot. Right now, recently they actually released these travel restrictions that were there, and that was just yesterday at 4 a.m. Right? What exactly do you think? How exactly do you think this is going to affect us in terms of in terms of this whole vaccination drive? What exactly do you think is going to happen now?
Personally, I think this is gonna prompt a lot of people, especially young people, to actually get the vaccine, because as the restrictions happened, you're really you're not only going in for a COVID test when you go to the airport, you're also being checked to see if you have the vaccine. I think some people won't even let you in. Some people, I think, you won't even be allowed to countries if you
Yeah.
don't have the vaccine. And I
Yeah.
think it's quite, I feel like people are doing it for the wrong reasons, but if more people are getting the vaccine, then really and truly we've done the work that we needed to do. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, like it's a necessary thing you have to do in order to, like, if you want to get back to normal life, you're gonna have to get the vaccine. That's just the way it is, and a lot of people need to
Exactly.
realize that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I just remembered when you mentioned airports, right? How you have to
Yeah.
basically show that you've been vaccinated, right?
Yes.
But like, something else that I realized now, even going to things like nightclubs, actually, they want you to be fully vaccinated as well, which I think again is prompting a lot of young people to go get that vaccine. Because I mean, obviously, when you're in your roaring 20s, you're supposed to like be going out and having fun, right? So you
Of
can't really
course.
do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, if you don't have the vaccine. So I think in a way, they're also encouraging you to get a vaccine, right?
Yeah.
And something I was reading about yesterday as well was how, there are these various apps like Uber, Deliveroo, Pizza Pilgrims that are basically having a lot of incentives to get young people vaccinated, right? And I
Yeah.
was thinking, like, no way am I going to say no to free food, right? I mean, if I go to get my vaccine and I'm getting free food, who's going to say no to that? So that's definitely an amazing initiative that they have taken, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it might be for wrong reasons, but I don't know how you could find free pizza wrong. Like, you're not gonna tell me that getting free Uber rides and free pizza because I have the vaccine is wrong. I mean, if you want, like, obviously we should be doing it to help our fellow community, but free pizza it's
It's always a
100%
good
best.
reason
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so that's just what it is. And when talking about booster jabs and whatnot, I actually want to very quickly, yeah, I really want to talk about why exactly these booster jabs are effective, right? Now, from what I read and from what I saw, apparently it helps to increase your level of antibodies, right? Now, this actually made a lot of sense to me because when you initially get vaccinated, after a while your immunity sort of dies down, right?
Yeah.
So this is apparently what the booster jabs are doing. They're basically increasing your immunity so that when you are when you're heading out again, that your immunity is back up, so you really aren't, even if you do contract COVID-19, that the effects of it aren't going to be as terrible as it would have been if you didn't get the vaccine, right? So do you actually think then that these booster jabs, we need to keep doing them often? Because I mean, after all, after a while all of this will reduce, right? So
Yeah.
then in that case, do you think we should be going into giving booster jabs, every once in a while?
I can't really talk behind the science of it. Like, I don't know what if this booster jab that's coming, in September is the final one.
Yeah.
However, you know, people need to start looking at this. Or like, I mean, I think of it like, you go to get your flu jab
Okay.
more than
Yeah.
once in your life. Like, let's be serious. Like, if you're gonna get the flu jab once every year or like twice every year, what would be the difference between this one? Like, the flu jab has its side effects. The COVID
Yeah.
vaccine has its side effects.
Side
But
effects.
either
Yeah.
way, you still need it. Like, you still need it in order to protect yourself and to
Self.
protect the
Yeah.
others around you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
my stance on
yeah,
that.
I guess again, I mean, I guess the whole, this whole question of whether this is going to be like a continuous thing, whether it's going to
Mhm.
happen, like every now and then. I
Yeah.
guess again, that's up to like science, right? We'll just have to see if we can actually get rid of this pandemic that we've been
Yeah.
going through for the past 2 years. Because I am honestly fed up of the pandemic, and I know like it's not just you or I, right? It's pretty much everyone. We all just want our lives to get back to normal. So I guess like our option here then is to just sort of wait and see how things progress, how things change, and then see what exactly needs to be done, right? So we're going to actually head into a small break right now, and then we will be back to keep talking to you about what exactly is the current COVID status here in the United Kingdom, right? And the reason we're talking about this is because we want to bring more awareness into all of these changes that we went through in the past, yesterday actually, but
Yeah.
also a lot of these travel restrictions, they were lifted, and a vaccine hesitancy. We still want to keep talking about this, so make sure you stay tuned because right now we're actually going to head into a small break.